Right now, the entire film community is holding its breath because Christopher Nolan The Odyssey is officially here. And with that information, I'm gonna be doing something a little bit crazy. I haven't seen a single trailer, I have completely muted any form of social media, avoided every single review that came my way, and managed to stay spoiler-free the entire time. And to raise the stake even higher, my ticket is booked for July 22nd, which is actually my birthday. So going into a Nolan's movie absolutely blind is a massive gamble that I'm taking because historically his films are built on heavy obsession, fractured timeline, severe psychological trauma, massive mythic storytelling, and a strict refuser to rely on digital green screen. Early industry rumors are promising a historic Oscar-worthy cinematic masterpiece. And today, I am filming the first half of this video before I even step into the theater to see this, with the sole purpose of figuring out whether or not this hype is worth it. Now, according to industry critics, the absolute madness of the practical shoot completely paid off. Early reviews are calling it a staggering non-linear masterpiece in pure psychological tension. The critic praise for the cast performances is through the roof. Critics are also heavily praising Matt Damon's visceral, grueling performance as Odysseus, a role that he trained 6 months for, calling it his absolute hardest film that he's ever shot. We also have Annie Hathaway portraying Penelope and Tom as his upcoming son of age. I can't say that name, so I'm just gonna put that on the screen right there. But the massive terrifying breakout that everybody is really talking about is Samantha Morton as the sorceress. In fact, openly, Nolan has lauded her performance, noting that her character's dark, commanding presence fundamentally anchors the entire film's psychological weight. And to really capture those specifics, I'm talking about the heavy dramatic performances. Nolan pushes his gear to the absolute limit. I mean, we're talking about a massive $250 million production budget that is officially making history as the first feature film ever shot entirely on a 15 perforation large format 7mm IMAX film TH1. Nolan and his cinematographer Hoyte Van completely rejected digital green screen, combining century-old film techniques with brand new inventions like custom fire mimicking lighting rigs just to capture intimate raw human survivor. If you have no idea what any of those things means, neither do I. I mean, look, I know exactly what a camera is. When directors start talking to the New York Times about engineering custom firelights for an ancient Greek poem, my brain is just like, I don't know what you're talking about, but do you, bro? But apparently the technical feats are historical, the performances are allegedly legendary, and it's tracking to be an absolute giant at the Academy Award. Which brings us back to my personal thoughts. My ticket is booked for July 22nd, my birthday. So let's see if Christopher Nolan makes my birthday or absolutely ruins it. Anyways, I'm headed to the theater. I'm gonna see in a few seconds and we'll see how this goes. I just walked out of the theater and let's just say that my birthday was officially made. This movie was an absolute masterpiece. The 70mm IMAX format didn't just capture a movie, it forced me into this heavy, overwhelming atmosphere of ancient Greece. Anyway, welcome back to Casual Watch. If you like breakdowns about movies, laws, character analysis, or even videos like this that aren't such deep lore but rather like my full reactions about things, don't forget to join the family, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notification, and whenever I post videos you can get that notification. Let's grow this channel to 200 subscribers. The movie kicks off as something that I can only describe as a time of apparent magic. The opening features a surprise prologue with Travis Scott, and honestly, his acting was quite impressive and completely set this heavy, serious tone for the rest of the movie. And from that point on, the film plunges us right into this legendary tactical deception of the Trojan War. Now, as an aspiring cybersecurity professional, that specific strategy obviously made me smile. My brain immediately went to malware and how the functions of digital Trojan horses were coined from ancient myth. But seeing Nolan visually execute the concept of a hidden infiltration was an whole different level of intense. The storytelling does not rely on flashy, triumphant actions. Instead, it focuses on like a terrifying, absolute level of commitment just to avoid detection. It instantly hits you with its major rule. Hunting is nothing but fighting with stealth, and Survivor demands you to be the smartest person in the room. But what actually blew me away about the writing is how early it handled the theme of power. It sort of established this massive psychological dilemma that anchors the entire film. The power of a sacrifice is entirely measured by the personal cost of the person making it. From there, the film shifts his perspective, and Nolan immediately set up this tense mother and son dynamic relationship. And what was really impressive to me was just the narrative highlights heavy layer of societal misogyny from the very start, forcing Penelope and her son to navigate an incredibly hostile environment. And this leads into a brilliant worthiness test involving this legendary bow that serves as this sort of fascinating test of strength and a direct challenge to the throne, which illustrated Telemachus hasn't quite grown into his world yet, but has kind of been officially set on that path, having heard the story about his dad. Another thing that completely captivated me was the cinematic vibe of the narration. Nolan gives us a visual sequence earlier on with Odysseus and Penelope in a boat sailing as they laid in bed talking about what is about to happen with her not being for it. And the way Nolan literally visualizes what the life she wanted for them was spectacular. It kind of instantly reminded me of the Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan dilemma, the hunting concept of a character knowing his future, picturing exactly what that future looks like visually to the audience, and then ultimately choosing a brutal path that keeps him away from the people he loves. And let's even talk about how the metaphysical relationship between the father and son was handled so beautifully, so much so that even across this impossible distance between them, you can tell Telemachus and Odysseus feels each other's presence carried directly through the winds and the waves. And holy shit, the sequence that is involving the Cyclops is easily one of the most uncomfortable, creepy tension I have ever experienced in a movie. But this is really what blew me away. The deep pitch black irony of the storytelling in this particular scene. Earlier on, Odysseus highlights how sheep move in flocks, and that was the knowledge that they were using to hunt them. But Nolan turns that entire concept into a terrifying cyclical metaphor. While Odysseus thinks he is the master hunter tracking a flock for a meal, his own tactical choices ended up leading his human flock straight into a massive cave where they are suddenly being treated with the exact same predatory calculation, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. And what even keeps the tension so potent is how perfectly Nolan balances the narrative pacing. The film maintains an incredibly smooth conversation between the perspective of the father and the journey of the son, allowing the camera to transition between completely different environments without ever losing a single ounce of momentum. The real horror, though, is the theme that comes after the act of arrogance. The story shows us that when you pride yourself on being the smartest predator in the room, you become completely blind to the larger cosmic forces watching you from above. So a single moment of ego shifts the entire stake of the film, transforming a tactical survivor mission into a terrifying battle against absolute, inescapable divine wrath. I will say though that the real kicker of this movie really is the theme of ego. The story shows us what happens when you think you're the smartest person in the room, and even moving forward throughout the story, the movie just relentlessly throw heavy major situations at you, and the action feels incredibly heavy. Every single obstacle is so slow, making the stakes feel so much higher, and the lore just gets absolutely wild. And the film drops these crazy, eerie consequences. The hunting idea, you can save men from the gods, but you cannot save men from themselves. And we see everything fall apart. Odysseus comes to a realization that he is facing some sort of consequence, and he kind of had to repeatedly face this dilemma of ultimate sacrifice, which is essentially destroying a few to save the whole. And this whole builds into like a spectacular third act back at home. And again, Nolan uses this brilliant camera technique where the clearest view of a man is shot from below, ramping up tensions to the absolute max. It also eventually led back to that test of worthiness that I was talking about earlier, a true testament of who deserves to be king. The final execution is absolutely flawless, showing a man breaking law just to restore order, because what caused order to be thrown out of balance was breaking law. So he was like doing the same thing, but yielding two different results. This movie has spectacular writing, a beautiful cinematography, and an absolute masterpiece of a conclusion. I think Nolan completely delivered, and as cherry on top, this is an amazing birthday gift for me. I had a fun time, had a good time at theater. It was great. If you haven't seen this movie, I urge you to go to the theater. I'm going back to watch it for a second time because I had a really good time watching this movie. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this very vague breakdown. I do plan on actually breaking things down. If I have a video, I would link it right up there so you guys can click on it and go to the next video. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. And don't forget to like, comment down below what your thoughts are. How do you feel about the movie? Do you think it was a really good movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun watching it? If you did, let me know in the comment section. Let's start a conversation down there. Thank you so much for watching. This is Casual Watch, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Peace.